been looking for a movie to look over for so long. So many movies.
Why do people make so many movies?
Easy. To make money. This is really making me sleepy.
Same.
Might as well. Whoa! Where are we? I don't know.
Looks like my old house when I was with my mom and dad.
Gentlemen, a tip of the hat to you all. How goes it?
Who in the hell are you?
You look like a drugged out pimp.
Are you gonna hurt us?
Oh, heavens no. I am merely here to indulge you three on a certain unholy creation of man, and did you call me a pimp?
Which would be the right answer for that question?
Look, just who are you, and why the hell are we here?
Alright, showmanship aside. I am Warden Darkgreen Artist, a former YouTuber who just wishes to request some help from you three. I have seen your reviews recently, and I have to admit, I am intrigued and would like to help you out with this next one. And as of where we are, this is the dream world. A perfect setting for the film we are about to encounter.
Is it just me? Does this person sound like Jenny to you?
I was wondering why that name sounds familiar.
Ah, well...
And what film are you talking about?
Happy you should ask, my fellow blue hedgehog! I see that you have recently reviewed It Chapter 2, and I must say it took me back to a time where horror remakes were decent at best and horrid at worst. And I would like to talk about the one I consider to be the worst out of all of them. My fellow gentlemen, we are going to review A Nightmare on Elm Street 2010.
You have nothing to worry about. This won't hurt one little bit.
Well, glad to know we have a fan.
Yeah, at least we finally got something to review, even if it's in the dream world.
I swear, why do I get the most amount of dreams out of everyone here? Well, since, I guess, due to being thankful for you for giving us a movie to look over to, I was wondering if you would like to join us in the review, given that you seem to have your own opinions on this.
My friend, all I have are negative opinions on this one, so I would be more than happy to take the bad slot for you.
That's great! I bet this will be interesting. So I guess, because of our guest over here, you guys want me to do the history part of the films? Yeah, since I'm the horror buff here, I'm a bit positive on horror films.
I'm a bit 50-50 on them, so I guess I can do the more of the meh side of the film, while WDA over here can do that with the negative.
But of course, and I will try to restrain myself slightly, so that way I do not have to worry about any censors.
Well, since this is a dream and a guest to survive on YouTube, you need to be an adult to make sure Coppa doesn't go gangster on your ass for using animated characters in a video.
I mean, what do you think I made my Reddit video for?
Well, in that case, fuck it, and let's rip this movie a new asshole.
But first, a bit of history. This may be longer than the history for the It series, so sit your ass down and take out your box of popcorn. Frisk Craven has surely made a big pack on horror, with films such as The Last House on the Left and The Hills Has Eyes. I guess it was bound to happen that he would make something so big even for his standards, and that would happen in 1984 when he made A Nightmare on Elm Street. Like Halloween and Friday the 13th, it helped the slasher horror genre to grow. Also, it uses dream and reality, and the struggles to define the distinctions between the dreams and reality manifested by the lives of the teens really well.
And while I bet Walter England had a good time in the acting chair, his performance as Freddy Krueger has surely helped him to become a big-name star.
Sadly, in August of 2015, Wes Craven passed away after suffering quite some time with a brain tumor at the age of 76. But the man did not leave without an impact. However, like most good iconic movies, much like Stephen King films, a remake was inevitable. So we got one in 2010 after both the Halloween and Friday the 13th remake did okay in the box office.
However, critics weren't as nice, heavily panning the films for how much more gore they seem to add into these films. Hell, it was that bad that Charles List creator Don Mancini decided not to go along with his own reboot before MGM had one in 2019. And yet it was one of the better horror remixes out there. But from the success of the Friday the 13th remake was enough to make Warner Bros., New Line Cinema, and Platinum Dooms, as they would later make a Freddy remake the following year.
Just before we start, we should note that Wes Craven has stated he hated the remake and never wanted it to happen. Also, this is the last film from Freddy in the series, and even after a decade passed by, and outside of, I guess, a small cameo appearance in The Good Burgs, this is still Freddy's last appearance on the big screen. Let that sink in for a moment.
Anyway, let's start with a positive.
What about the plot?
Oh, I get a feeling our guest will go into that. Why?
The plot is basically a man named Fred Krueger who was convicted of child molestation, fled from the people of Elm Street, and was set ablaze for his crime, so the adults did not have to worry about it becoming public. However, in the original, Krueger was convicted of child murders and was burned for getting away with the court case by a technicality. The remake did try to change a few things, but this is what also crippled it in the end.
Now, let's get to the positives. While not being as good as Robert Englund, Jackie Haley did the best he could as playing as Freddy Krueger and is easily one of the better parts of the film, even if the face makeup definitely makes him look like a lion more than Freddy himself, but what are you gonna do? Also, the score was pretty good too, even if it's the usual loud noises for jump scares.
Outside of the main actors, the minor characters are really a hit or miss. Like Clancy Brown, for example. He's a hit because at least he does try, but the others just feel like they're just here for a paycheck. Some of the main actors are okay, I guess, but don't really do much in the film, really.
Okay, my turn. Oh boy. First off, the acting. It is so underwhelming and there is little to no emotion with any of the deliveries. The makeup and CGI are not very impressive. I am aware it was 2010, but we got Daybreakers and Legion at the same time. However, Legion had a lesser budget and knew how to work the CGI more properly. This movie did not know what the fuck it was doing. The jump scares are predictable and stupid, and the cinematography is very shoddy. But that is not the worst of it all. The deaths are the absolute most horrid thing in this entire film. All the deaths were overly dramatic, aside from the one which I will admit was improved from the original, but none of the others made any impact. To top it off, the memorable scenes from the 80s movie, you know, the ones that you like and remember, are forced in and unneeded for the most part. They are only there to tell you this is a remake. The character of Krueger, though, is the worst thing that has happened to this film. He not only was rewritten to be modernized, which, you know, is fine and all, but he was changed entirely, which, again, is fine, but it would have been fine, except they failed to handle his character in this. They made him go from a child born of 100 madmen / child murderer who got away due to a technicality to which he was murdered by the parents of Elm Street, which made him a vengeful spirit and changed him to a fucking pedophile who ran away and got the axe because the parents didn't want their kid. Is there anyone outside of Elm Street to remember? How the fuck does that even work? That's not how it fucking works. As convoluted as the original movies were, they were still easy to follow because you had multiple movies to go by with Krueger. But this was the only film that tried and failed, and they made him a fucking pedo instead of an actual complicated psychopath. Oh, but the worst part of it all was the ending. The plot twist was him being a pedophile. Him being a child killer was part of his original character. But they write him off as a misunderstood guy who was wronged. But oh no, they find evidence of him being a real monster. Even though, this could have all been settled in court like the original did. I am not one to compare originals and remakes. Quite the contrary. Even with Disney movies, I could care less. But seriously, the parents in the remake are just as guilty, where in the original, they had a reason. Sort of. The only part that got me to laugh was the end, where they brought him out of the real world, beheaded him, and then after all of that, he's gone. Oh, but then he comes to take Nancy's mom. You know, like in the original. Oh, but this one time it's a mirror instead of a door. And she's right fucking there, instead of in a car, where she can't get out, which she tries. Fucking Nancy in this movie is stupid! The most laughable part is the fact they thought this was good in a first sequel. And, good God, why did they think him being a child molester would be a good plot twist? Even for 2010, that isn't edgy, it is just stupid! I'm done now.
Jesus.
Now that's anger right there.
You're really that passionate over the original.
I consider myself a fair movie viewer. I even give passes to movie remakes others hate on. But this is one that made me realize how horrible Hollywood can get with these old masterpieces.
Well, let's hope that Candyman remake doesn't end up like that.
They better leave him alone.
Well, they do have Tony Todd back and even have Jordan Peele from Us and Get Out involved.
Very well. It gets a pass already.
So yeah, that's really about it for the film. There's a reason why this one's been picked for the most worst horror remixes out there. But Freddy could have another remake, as Warner Brothers and New Line Cinema has teased a new remake in the future, but only time will tell.
Let's hope it doesn't repeat this film's failures. Otherwise, I think our friend won't live long from the anger in her blood.
As long as it is done by someone who didn't do any of the Twilight movies, it will already do better in my eyes.
And keep Michael Bay away from it would help.
As bad as he is, at least he would keep my attention, unlike whomever directed this one.
Sam Belia, you may want to be careful in your dreams. Well, I think that's about it for the film. Thanks again, Miss WDA, for joining us for the review.
Yeah, thanks for not trying to kill us.
Anytime, gentlemen. 'Twas a pleasure.
If you want to help us out with more movie reviews, just do whatever you did to make this possible.
Ah, but of course. And same to you three. Never hesitate to request my assistance.
Just wondering, how do we summon you?
Honestly, I thought I summoned you three.
How about if we say WDA 3 times in the mirror?
Do it to a cup of coffee and I'm there.
Well, lucky that Schmuffet has a lot of coffee.
So, how are we going to wake up?
Allow me, gents.
Wow, what a dream. Let's not review a horror movie in a while, please?
Yeah, I think they're already starting to get to me.
Agreed, but now what are we supposed to review? Hey look, a DVD with a note on it. Sorry to do this to you, my friends, but to make sure this agreement between us is settled, you gotta watch this film and do a review of it to make our deal a thing.
I think getting killed our dreams would be better right now.
Yeah, well, if we want this deal to happen, I guess we have to go and take some stinkers.
Save us, Jeebus.